Let's dive right into today's explainer, where we're looking at an event that literally redefined modern history. We're going to be analyzing the profound historical impact, the unimaginable tragedy, and the immense human resilience surrounding the events of September 11, 2001. Our source material gives us a clear, chronological look at how this single day unfolded and fundamentally altered the world we all live in today.
You know, the morning of September 11, 2001 started off just like any other completely normal day in New York City. People were commuting, grabbing their morning coffee, heading up to their desks. But just a few hours later, absolutely everything changed. It went from this completely ordinary, quiet morning to absolute terror unfolding right there in real time.
Section 1. A normal morning shattered.
4. That is the total number of hijacked planes. Terrorists executed a terrifyingly coordinated plan, simultaneously hijacking 4 separate commercial airplanes. Just pause and reflect on that level of coordination for a second. 4 planes, full of innocent passengers, suddenly taken over in the sky, literally turning everyday commercial transport into weapons.
Moving to Section 2. The Twin Towers attack.
The terrifying chronology started at exactly 8:46 a.m. The first planes struck the North Tower, instantly throwing the entire city into panic. People didn't really know what was happening at first, right? Was it a terrible aviation accident? But then, shortly after, the second plane hit the South Tower, and that was it. That was the pivotal moment. It became clear to absolutely everyone watching that this was a deliberate, massive terrorist attack. From there, the timeline moves incredibly fast. Within an hour, the South Tower collapses, followed shortly after by the North Tower.
Now, inside those structures, intense fires broke out immediately across multiple floors. People ran frantically, just trying to navigate the stairwells to save their own lives. I really want you to try and imagine the sheer terror of that moment, especially for those trapped high up on the upper floors of these burning buildings with absolutely no way down. The primary escape routes were entirely cut off.
Section 3. Collapse and Chaos. Within about an hour, the horrifying reality really set in as the South Tower gave way. The structural damage from the impact, plus the intense heats, it was simply too severe. It collapsed, and as it fell, this massive cloud of dust spread across the entire city. And a short time later, the North Tower fell too. 2 of the tallest, most robust buildings in the world were suddenly just turned to rubble. It blanketed the streets of New York in a thick, choking cloud of debris, and everything was instantly covered in gray.
Thousands of innocent people lost their lives in the rubble. It was an unfathomable loss of life in just a single morning. The event sent a massive wave of shock, fear, and profound grief rippling across all of America, and honestly, across the entire globe.
Section 4. Bravery in the rubble.
But you know, right amid the chaos, firefighters and police officers arrived immediately at the scene, and without hesitation, they entered those burning buildings, risking their own lives to save complete strangers. They completely ignored the immense danger to themselves, bravely heading straight up into the inferno. Tragically, as we know, many of these brave rescue workers lost their lives when the towers fell, essentially sacrificing themselves to evacuate as many civilians as possible.
The quote goes, "This event became a story not only of sorrow but also of bravery and unity." And it's so true because despite the tragic loss of so many rescue workers and the sort of paralyzing fear spreading across the country, people immediately began stepping up. Ordinary citizens helped one another navigate the dust-covered streets. Blood banks were literally flooded with donors. It became this lasting, powerful example of human unity and compassion standing up in the face of unimaginable evil.
Our final section, a changed world.
The immediate cause and effect of this day was absolutely profound. First off, the attack shook the entire world. It wasn't just an American event. It was a massive global shockwave. Second, as a direct result of that, security protocols were drastically tightened globally. I mean, the way we travel, the way we secure public spaces, it literally all changed overnight. And third, America launched major sweeping action against terrorism, fundamentally altering international relations and military engagements for decades to come.
Today, this tragedy is simply and permanently known as the September 11 attacks. And even now, to this day, just remembering that date continues to evoke deep emotion worldwide. It's a permanent historical marker for sure, but it's also a permanent monument to those who were lost and those who bravely stepped in to help.
So, considering the massive global security changes implemented alongside the really profound human unity shown that day, how does the legacy of 9/11 continue to shape our world right now? As you reflect on the shadows of terror and the enduring human resilience from that single September morning, I want you to consider how it still influences our modern lives. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.